I wonder what I should play. Oh, maybe I should react. Yeah, I'm gonna react. Maybe I probably should react too. Don't mind this. We're just watching. Yeah, we're just watching Bob versus the remake. Really. Let's just let's watch this.
Since the dawn of time, plants have been the mortal enemies of zombies, locked in an eternal struggle. Wait, is the left camera? Seriously? Right, it is I, the terrifyingly brilliant, startlingly good-looking Dr. Edgar George Soros, or as I'm also known, the greatest evil genius that has ever lived. Decades from now, we will all look back and remember where you were on this day. The day I unveiled my greatest invention yet. To the lab!
Dr. Edgar George Zambos, the genius ruler of the undead from Plants vs. Zombies. This thanatologist has made it his goal to spread the zombie apocalypse all across Neighborville, using his brain power to acquire human brains for he and his kind to feast upon. Commanding large wars of corpses from the sidelines, Zambos' army will now be invading Super Smash Brothers. Will the brains there be worth the trek? I guess there's only one way to find out.
Sorry, everyone. My hand isn't really that good at holding. And also, yep, here's my Switch. Yep. Did you know that Among Us is getting a box art? Is getting a package? Yeah. Right now, what you have to do is go to the eShop and buy it. It's only $5, by the way, very cheap. And also something I may mention is that, yes, it is coming to the PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X, and like I said before, it's getting like, let me grab an example. It's getting like one of these. It can be bought. It's soon gonna be, yes. And when that does come out, there will be 3 packages that you can buy. Number one is the Kermit package. It's the cheapest out of all of them. Imposter package, a little bit more expensive, but again, very cheap. And then finally, the ejection pack. Like, this one is the most expensive, and it's really expensive. I think it's like $70, $60. I could be wrong. I think the Kermit package is like $30, and the Bowser package is like $50. Like $50. I could be wrong.
Here's the thing, though. There's a reason why I'm calling this video Dr. Zambos and the Horde. Because Zambos won't be doing all the fighting. In fact, he actually won't be doing any of it.
I can beat the plants without actually having to touch dirt. I just sit back, point at things, make things explode, and take credit for other people's work.
He always leaves the grunt work to his grunts. So for this moveset, Zambos will be flying in one of his mechs in the background, barking out orders and supplying support to the actual character that you'll be controlling. Up-round code Zombie. So getting right into things, this zombie will be an above-average midway class character. It have 2 jumps and no additional movement. But that's a fun little detail. Whenever the zombie is KO'd, instead of respawning, Zambos will instead just bring in a whole new zombie to continue the fight. Zambos is used to having to constantly replenish his army since they're always so quick to go down. It doesn't help that he also has a bad habit of sacrificing them or even just killing them himself if they're in his way. They're already dead, does he care? So every new stock will always have you playing as a whole new zombie, even though they always look and play the exact same. It's just an aesthetic detail.
Oh, and I should skip it. Yeah, skip the ad. Skip the ad because
We're going to pretend that the zombies we will be fighting are a special type of combat engineered breed of zombies that Zomboss made specifically for this occasion, crafted to use the talents and abilities of multiple types of zombies from the army, turning this zombie into the Super Scroll of Zombies, a super zombie. Oh wait, that already exists. Regardless, it's another composite moveset through and through, making fighting this zombie actually feel like you're dealing with large hordes of different zombie types in Plants vs. Zombies. As for the attack,
oh wow, it's already been 5 minutes.
Starting with the jab, it could be a 2-hit semi-spammable jab that has the zombie swing each of its arms forward from high to low, one at a time in a scratching and grabbing maneuver. This is not unlike the attack in the Warfare game, but it also comes from a typical zombie thing. They desperately try to reach for a person to tear their body apart to get to those gooey sucker fighters.
I'm just gonna play some Smash, guys. Sorry if you can't see it. It's just the quality.
Not that they really need to worry about that, but I digress. For their side tilt, this can have the zombie do a quick diagonally swung karate chop forwards, the same done by the karate zombies in Garden Warfare 2. The up tilt can have the zombie take on the role of a rally zombie, pulling out a flag and swinging it overhead back and forth a couple of times. A great disjointed move, but it will leave the zombie vulnerable on the sides. And for the down tilt, the zombie can do a high to low scratch attack, slamming the ground with its hand. Another zombie thing that you might see in horror films with the zombies on the ground, but is still trying to reach or fly whoever it was chasing. For the zombie side smash, this can have it pull out a screen door and smack it forwards from high to low, mimicking the same attack used by screen door zombies in the Warfare games. It's a decent attack on its own, but it does have its own little flaw. While you charge the smash, the zombie holds the screen door in front of itself, and the door will nullify all projectiles, but only from the front, obviously. It will also reduce any damage that the zombie would have taken from non-projectile attacks from the front, but this won't nullify them. It will still knock the zombie out of its charge, but at least it won't take nearly as much damage as it would have otherwise. For the zombies up smash, this will have them pull out a Jack-in-the-Box, the same used by the loony Jack-in-the-Box zombies in the first Plants vs. Zombies game. While it charges, it's shown turning the crank of the box, but upon release, the Clownhead Jack flies out, shooting straight up to hurt any foes above the zombie. This smash attack also has a unique function of its own. As a roundabout reference back to the Jack-in-the-Box zombie, if your zombie is attacked during the short time that the Clownhead is out of the box, the Jack-in-the-Box will explode, hurting both the zombie and any other players who are too close. The explosion's range isn't very large, but it is deadly, capable of KOing high-damage players who are caught in it. Again, the zombie included. While self-preservation isn't a high priority for zombies, stock preservation should be for you. So it hurts not to spam this move if you're too far away. But for the zombie's down smash, this can have it do a small stop on the ground, signaling 2 other zombies to reach out from 6 feet under on both sides of the main zombie. The hands that poke out of the ground don't go that high, but they're still great for disjoint, and any foe hit by them will be sent straight up into the air. For the zombie's neutral aerial, this can have it do a wild spinning tornado kick attack, a move that we've seen done by a few zombies, such as the Jesters, Breakdancers, Karate Zombies, and even done by Super Brains for his Turbo Twister attack. Any player hit by the zombie as it spins will be launched on contact, but it will do even more damage in knockback if it hit from the sides of the attack, being launched into straighter angles. The forward air can be a quick spinning roundhouse kick, another move that directly comes from the Karate Zombies. For the back air, here's a move that might even make Warrior's nose curl up, having the zombie let out a huge fart directly behind itself, launching anyone unlucky enough to be down with it. The idea for this move comes from when you feed zombies chili beans in Plants vs. Zombies 2. Quite fitting, considering how much that game stinks. The up air can have the zombie spin while its body is vertically over will take a bit more damage and will be launched straight up. And for the down air, the zombie will pull out a pogo stick from the pogo zombie. Fall straight down while riding the pogo stick. And as soon as the foot of the pogo stick hits anything, whether that be stage or foe, it'll bounce the zombie upwards. The move will eventually end if it lasts too long, giving you the opportunity to recover if used over the blast zone, and foes hit by the foot of the pogo stick right at the start of the move will be spiked. The zombie would grab with both arms, staring at their head, ready to dig in. In fact, if you pummel, it'll do just that, biting at the foe to get a taste of their soon-to-be delicacy. A shame that they have to throw their meal out so soon, though. For their forward throw, they do the same motion as the punk zombies, rocking out to kick the foe forwards. The back throw can have them pull out the shovel of the excavator zombie, use it to scoop the foe up and fling them backwards. The up throw can suddenly have the large arm of a gargantuan appear out of the ground and punch the foe straight up into the air. And the down throw can show a scene straight out of a horror film, having a bunch of zombies come out of the ground and start dragging the foe down, causing them to be buried in the dirt.
Oh. That was a snap. Sorry I did not cover it up, everyone.
So for the zombie special attacks, not only will these be the first moves to truly bring to life the feeling of fighting a horde of zombies that the Horde part of this video title, but these will also be the first moves where Zomboss will appear, supporting his front from the background. The zombie will have two sets of special attacks, 4 default moves that you'll always have access to, then 4 specials that come from Dr. Zomboss himself that can only be used on occasion. Whenever Zomboss is ready, he'll signify you in some way, like him calling out or having a light blinking on his neck, something along those lines. And using any of the specials during this will automatically have Zomboss provide his support. Then after it's done, Zomboss will have to recharge his mech, leaving you unable to get Zomboss's support again until the cooldown is over. And the amount of cooldown there is depends on which special you use. Regardless, during the cooldown, the zombie will always use its default, much weaker special attack up until Zomboss is ready to supply his support again. As for those specials, for the 2 neutral specials, starting with the default zombie special, it'll have the zombie toss a zombie stink bomb, the same kind used by the Pit Soldier zombies in the Warfare game. It tosses a gravity-affected bomb forward, and upon contact with anything, explodes into a large purple cloud that literally works identically to the Piranha Plant side special. The cloud obstructs vision, and any foe within it takes constant damage. Now, if Zomboss is ready to provide support, his version of the neutral special will have him shoot up missiles. He fires a single missile from his mech, and it dive bombs straight into the spot in front of where the zombie was standing at the moment of activation. It's a little slow to strike, so it might be hard to hit a punch, but it's very good, dealing a ton of damage back if it does manage to hit the mark. It also explodes on impact, so that when it's sniping, everyone knows that they are careful. But just trying to hit foes with the missile shouldn't be your first priority. What you really want to do is make sure that it hits the stage. If the missile crashes into any part of the stage, it will spawn a gravestone in the spot of impact, and this gravestone will summon more zombies. Nuke zombies will come out of the ground from the spot where the gravestone sits, spawning 1 zombie every 10 seconds, and will summon up to 5 zombies at a time. The door until at least 1 of those zombies is killed. Then it will start spawning more until there's at most 5 of them. These zombies behave more so like the ground folks do in the main games. They slowly walk around, generally towards the direction of opponents, and if they can get close enough, they'll grab the foes and will start fighting them, racking up damage. And as an added detail, if you use your up-close rally flag attack close to these zombies, it will actually
Get
increase
noob.
their movement speed,
I almost got
making them a
noob.
bit scarier. They're not hard to kill, though. They die after taking 10% of damage, or if you simply knock them off the stage. They're unable to recover.
Did you know that there's two versions of Pikachu and Peach's neutral special? Yeah. One where want this and this. Most people don't know about this.
Becoming a reverse scenario, and you'll have to play tower defense to protect it. Only one gravestone can be on the stage per zombie player, so if you use the missile strike again to make a new gravestone, the old one will just crumble to allow the new one to spawn. I should also mention, if you use the missile strike specifically, Zomboss will have to wait for 15 seconds before he's able to use any of his support specials again. For the side specials, the zombie's default attack can have them do an imp hunt, pulling out a small imp zombie and punching it forwards as a projectile, just like the All-Star zombies can do in the Warfare games. The imp is gravity affected, and after it's hunted, if it collides with the foe before it hits the ground, it'll explode on contact, just like they can sometimes do in the main game, dealing a decent amount of damage.
Sorry everyone listening to
It'll
my
just get up and
special.
start walking around, just like the onto the gravestone. Only the imps are weak and a little faster. They also die after just 5% of damage and are very easy to watch. Assuming they don't just drop the initial hit, that is. Only one imp exists for the imp hunt enemy, so trying to use it again rather than
Sorry everyone. Sorry, my longest video.
though, if you do this next to a foe, this hit will deal some weak damage. Next to an imp, will deal now, if Zomboss is ready, his side special will instead have him spawn the largest group of zombies, a Gargantuar, having it appear right in front of your zombie's location. This monstrosity acts just like the other moves, but what it does is big zombies raw. If close enough to a foe, it'll swing its large weapon forward, dealing insane damage and knockback to them. It can take up to 40% of damage before it finally heals over, and it has a lot of armor. But it will still at least flinch if hit by a strong enough attack. And once it's down to 10%, it'll toss forwards an imp, which acts just like the one used for the default imp hunt. And this imp is separate from that one, making this the only way to have up to 2 imps on screen at a time per zombie player. This is very scary for your opponents, but using it makes Zomboss unable to use his supports again for the next 35 seconds, though only one Gargantuar can be on screen at a time. So trying to use the side special again while the big guy is still out will just cause it to fail, wasting the support and forcing you to wait for the recharge again. Next, for the zombie's up special, at default, it becomes a balloon zombie, blowing up a balloon to slowly lift it into the air. However, slowly is the unfortunate keyword here. This is not a very good recovery. It's pretty much a sitting duck while it automatically ascends with the balloon with only minimum horizontal input being allowed. And as soon as the balloon pops, it goes into free fall. As soon as it reaches its max height, or if the balloon is hit by any attack. But at the very least, if the balloon is caught by an attack, it will send the zombie a short distance upwards to possibly give it a last-ditch effort to reach the ledge. The other bright side is that it only goes into free fall if the balloon is popped. If the zombie itself is attacked during the up special, then it's just knocked out of it, and it can use it again if it so wishes. But if you're still not confident in the balloon, which honestly I wouldn't blame you if you weren't, you can always ask Zomboss for help. Zomboss's up special has him call down a bungee zombie, who comes in from high up, grabs your zombie, pulls them to the top of the screen, then automatically lowers them down to a random part of the stage. The best way to describe this special is a makeshift version of the Dragon Quest Heroes Zoom spell. The big difference here, though, is that the moment the bungee zombie grabs your zombie, up until it lets it go, you have full invulnerability. This cannot be interrupted, turning it into a guaranteed recovery and very annoying for your opponent. Faithful to the bungee zombies. Using this special, though, makes it so that Zomboss can't support the zombie again for the next 12 seconds. And finally, for the down special, the zombie's default will have it put on a random piece of headwear. The same used to protect the zombies from damage up until it falls off, just like in all of the Plants vs. Zombies games. When it puts the headwear on, all damage that the zombie takes will be halved, with the other half of the damage going to the headwear instead. And once the headwear takes a certain amount of damage, it'll fall off, reverting the zombie back to taking full damage once again. When the hat does come off, you won't be able to put on a new one for 20 seconds. You also aren't able to replenish it. The default down special becomes completely unusable once you put the hat on up until the 20 seconds after it falls off. There can be 1 of 2 hats that can show up. The more common hat is the road cone, which will last until it takes 10% of damage. The other, more rare hat is the bucket, which can take 25% of damage before it falls off. Now, if you use Zomboss's down special, you'll instead give the zombie full body armor. A barrel, an outhouse, or a coffin, which all behave the exact same. Headwear. Full body armor absorbs damage for the zombie, but it's so much stronger, reducing the damage for the zombie by 75%, transferring that damage to the armor instead, and they break after taking a total of 40% of damage. But aside from the armor being stronger, the armor breaking will also grant the zombie a 10-second long speed boost, giving them faster movement speed and slightly better frame data. Referencing zombies like the original Barrel Zombies in Plants vs. Zombies Adventures, or even the newspaper zombies. On top of all of that, if you use this while other standard nuke zombies from the Zomboss neutral special are walking around, they'll all be given headgear, which function just like it does for the standard down special. But if you use this support, Zomboss will have to wait for 30 seconds until he can support your zombie again. Overall, the specials and attacks from the zombie add to the theme of the apocalypse, overwhelming your opponent with sheer numbers, diversity, and dirty tactics, tearing down their defenses while also reducing their offensive options. But just like when playing Plants vs. Zombies, every option that the zombie has a weakness that can be easily exploited. It's just up to you to know exactly how to set yourself up to counter each wave. For the zombies, final smash! It starts with dozens of zombies emerging from the ground all over the stage, and any foe who comes in contact with a zombie will be grabbed by it. Trapped unless they can escape by mashing buttons, but it becomes harder at higher damage percents, and since your damage quickly racks up while the zombie has a hold of you, it turns into quite the ordeal over time. But meanwhile, during all of that, Zomboss, who flew away at the start of the smash, appears on the right side of the stage, controlling his powerful Zombot, who begins barraging the stage by shooting large orbs of fire or ice to the left, generally aiming at foes, and any foe who's hit by those large orbs take large damage and are launched away. After 5 seconds of this horror scene, all the zombies retreat back into the ground, and the Zombot exits stage right, with Zomboss returning to the background of the stage. Oh, and by the way, your zombie is still fully controllable and is completely invincible during the final smash, but it won't have access to Zomboss's support specials. For the alternate colors, the zombie can have all alternate costumes that come from the various attires seen across the different eras, with Zomboss simply having alternate colors with minimal changes depending on what's available for the matching eras. The default would simply have you playing as the brown coat zombie, with Zomboss wearing his white lab coat. The first alt can have you controlling a mummy zombie from ancient Egypt in Plants vs. Zombies 2, which is the game where most of these alts are coming from. Dr. Zomboss will be wearing a gold-colored lab coat here. The second alt can be the pirate zombie from the Pirate Seas era. Zomboss will have a black lab coat, and he would be wearing an eye patch as well. Next can be the cowboy zombie from the Wild West, with Zomboss in a brown lab coat. Moving past the present into the far future, here we have the red outfits of the future zombies, with Zomboss in a red lab coat. Then going to the opposite side of the timeline, here are the Jurassic zombies with Zomboss in an indigo coat. Then for our status quo half-naked alt, here's a bikini zombie from the Big Wave Beach. Zomboss here will be wearing a bright blue coat. And finally, for the one alt that won't be referencing Plants vs. Zombies 2, you can play as the Foot Soldier zombie from the Garden Warfare games, wearing the default green soldier's uniform. And Zomboss would be in a green lab coat. For the stage intro, Zomboss would simply fly into a spot in the background, and the zombie would dig its way out of the ground, rising to life and ready to eat some brains. The taunts, the first would show the zombies starting to dance. The dancer zombies would pop out and start dancing with it, referencing the dancer zombies. The second would be another dance, having it do the zombie dance gesture that they could do in the Garden Warfare games. And the last can just suddenly have its arm fall off, so it quickly picks it up and reattaches it. A reference to when the zombies' arms fall off after they lose a certain amount of health in their base games. And finally, for their victory animations, the first can show Zomboss maniacally laughing until suddenly the camera is knocked over and you see it get overrun by a bunch of zombies looking down on it. The second can have all of the zombies as part of a dance party, with Zomboss in the center of the crowd showing off his sick moves, referencing the music video ending of the first game, as well as to how much the zombies just like to dance. And the final can just show Zomboss laughing in a sinister manner as his army of zombies all walk past him in uniform lines. He beat you, so there's nothing stopping him from unleashing his entire horde on the entire neighborhood.
Wow, that was a very long video.